Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. A Billings man now faces federal charges for using 2 Billings massage parlors as fronts for prostitution.
This after a years-long investigation into illegal activity out of 2 Billings spas that operated near homes on Grand and Central Avenues.
A crackdown on sex for sale.
Q2's Samantha Sullivan is following the story for us tonight and joins us now with more from those court filings. Sammy?
Well, Russ and Jeanelle, Scott Petrie now facing federal charges after authorities say he was part of a conspiracy to encourage others to travel from outside of the state to Montana and into Billings for commercial sex. Court documents say Petrie and others who were not named in the filings used King Spa and A Spa in Billings as a front for prostitution. They used the money made to pay others involved within the conspiracy aimed at bringing women in from out of state to provide that sex for money. Documents show multiple occasions in which Petrie set up transportation for women to come into Billings. Petrie is charged with 4 counts related to the prostitution ring, including conspiracy, coercion, and enticement, and transportation of a person with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. He faces up to 35 years in prison.
Thanks so much, Sammy.
Well, the Montana House has voted down a bill aimed at encouraging Northwestern Energy to buy a larger interest in the Colstrip 4 power plant just one day after it passed a preliminary vote.
But in the final vote today, the Senate Bill 331 failed 37 to 60. 25 representatives who had supported it yesterday voted no. The bill originally guaranteed Northwestern could charge customers up to $75 million over 10 years for new expenditures at the Colstrip plant. But that portion was amended to give the State Public Service Commission more oversight.
The bill's sponsor, Republican Senator Dwayne Ankney of Colstrip, says he feels the bill was rejected for political reasons, not on its merits, but Senate leaders say at least some of the bill's provisions may continue.
It seems to me, and I think that the subject is so important to the state of Montana that there could be pieces of it that may survive. We'll have to see what people want to do.
It would take a 2/3 vote to bring back Senate Bill 331.
But some of the provisions could be amended into another bill.
Well, the School District 2 and community leaders work to get the word out to voters about the need for a high school mill levy. Those in the trenches are telling their stories.
It's been 12 years since Billings voters have passed a high school mill levy, so the students impacted by outdated educational tools are also out showing their support by rallying together in downtown Billings.
Q2's Zoe Zandora is just returning from today's event to show us more. Zoe.
That's right, Russ and Jeanelle. Today, students, teachers, and families all rallied together on the courthouse lawn in downtown Billings to show their support with a very clear message: this levy is much needed. The $971,000 levy would allow the district to purchase new textbooks and instructional materials for Billings high schools. It would also allow funds to hire 4 additional career counselors to help students develop career pathways. Now, the students and teachers speaking today about the textbooks, even science labs being very dated and falling apart. Some of the textbooks date back to 2003.
It's so weird. It's like my government book says our most recent president was George Bush.
I was talking with one of the teachers earlier today when I was collecting a few to bring here, and she was saying a bunch of her students have to constantly Google stuff. They had to look up when Rosa Parks died, since that wasn't in the textbook. She died in 2005, so that tells you how old a bunch of these are.
Important for us to be able, when we want to move on, when we want to go to college or into work, that we have we're prepared with information that will be able to compete with other students in the state of Montana, in the United States.
Now, they wrapped up the rally by encouraging those who were there to vote to pass the bill, and also announced to continue the support, Forward Montana will be holding a day of action on April 27th. Russ and Jeanelle.
All right, thank you, Zoe. Well, Montana's lone congressman says he is seriously considering a run for governor in 2020. Representative Greg Gianforte joined MTN on Montana this morning from Missoula today, giving the first public indication that he may indeed run.
So it's a great honor to serve Montana. We love this state. We've raised our family here. On that particular question, I've been talking to people all over the state. I've been getting a lot of encouragement to run for governor. I have not made a final decision, but I'm seriously considering it.
Well, many within the political circle have speculated that Gianforte will run for governor. Meanwhile, multiple Democrats have put their names in the running for Montana's House seat, which Gianforte currently occupies. No Republicans have announced runs yet.
The Montana Highway Patrol trooper shot in the neck, face, and head last month is showing slight improvements in a Utah hospital. A press release states Trooper Wade Palmer shows indications he recognizes certain people and things. However, all of his interactions remain nonverbal. Palmer uses both hand gestures and facial expressions, but the extent of how much he understands, doctors say, is unknown. Now, Palmer is doing physical therapy to help strengthen his left arm and leg. Only limited movement has been detected on his right side. Wiring and screws from his reconstructive jaw surgery should be removed later this week. Now, Trooper Palmer was ambushed after he located a shooting suspect who had killed one and injured 2 others in Missoula on March 15.
First responders, the highlight of the 61st annual Heroes Luncheon in downtown Billings this afternoon. 4 responders received awards in that ceremony with introduction by their respective superior. Those honored were Officer Gabrielle Denia of the Billings Police Department, Lieutenant Tim Siegel of the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Department, Trooper Justin Moran of the Montana Highway Patrol, and Captain Kevin Bentz of the Billings Fire Department. The Exchange Club thanked the responders for their ultimate customer service.
1 man is dead, another injured after a rollover crash near Lodge Grass. It happened Monday morning around 9:30 on 40 Mile Road. Montana Highway Patrol says as the car left the right side of the road, the driver overcorrected and the vehicle rolled. Now, this photo taken by a responding trooper. The passenger, a 37-year-old Lodge Grass man, was thrown from the vehicle and died at the scene. The driver was taken to the hospital. Investigators say drugs and alcohol are suspected.
Officials in Yellowstone National Park say a golden eagle has died due to lead poisoning. That eagle was the first one of its kind in the park to be outfitted with a GPS tracker. Park officials say the raptor had flown out of the park and had eaten the remains of an animal that had been killed by hunters using lead bullets. Birds of prey like golden eagles normally hunt live prey during warmer parts of the year, but conservationists say they will eat dead animals that may have been killed by hunters during the winter and fall. The raptors are commonly treated with twice-a-day injections to draw the lead out of the system.
We do all the blood testing here at the center with every eagle we bring in, and 99% of the eagles that we bring in have lead in their system. The lead is introduced into the environment with hunting products and fishing products. Usually, like with gopher hunting, someone will shoot a gopher with a lead bullet, leave it out there, a bird will come down, scavenge on it, eat the gopher, ingest the lead, and then therefore get lead poisoning.
Well, Jordan says lead tricks the body into thinking it's getting the calcium and iron it needs to survive when actually it is not. He adds that the typical signs of a bird with lead poisoning range from clenched talons, low appetite, and a lethargic appearance to overall weakness.
Well, the Easter Bunny countdown is on, and this year perhaps you need a visit from some local Easter bunnies.
A Billings High School student Madison Martinez is the owner of Egg My Yard, a service that hides plastic Easter eggs filled with candy in the yards of busy parents. She started the business with a friend last year after being inspired by her parents and her involvement with business professionals of America in school.
Now, unfortunately, Madison's business partner can't take part this year due to other commitments, so Madison decided to take it on herself. Egg My Yard has gotten so popular that Madison has actually hired on some extra bunnies.
So last year, I think we had about 38 houses. This year we're doing 150 and we're still accepting orders, so that's been a little bit crazy. The Billings community has been awesome to work with. They've been really, really kind to me, and I'm getting positive feedback all the time, especially because I was a little bit nervous doing it alone this year. And then I kind of realized, hey, we already have a support system going. Let's keep it going. I don't want to leave these people out in the blue all alone for Easter, so I decided I'm going to do it alone this year.
Well, Madison says she still has some spots open on her schedule.
So if you could use a visit from the local Easter bunny, search for Egg My Yard on Facebook.
That was a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Well, coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, a Great Falls student and his 3D printer giving hope and a future to children in need. We're going to show you how.
And later in sports, Q2's Athletes of the Week are dealing both thrills and spills from the PBR.
And coming up in weather, it looks like our weather is going to be fairly nice. In fact, we will be warming back up into the upper 70s by the time the end of the week gets here. We'll tell you all about it coming up in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.